Hello, Apunty98 here, and I'm bringing you a tutorial on how to use Dxtory and configure the settings correctly to have performance and quality. Now, let's open Dxtory. Alright, so we should start here. Now, make sure this is set to default, and every tab should have Use Default Settings box checked. So, once that's done, make sure the video frames per second box is checked and record status box is checked. It doesn't matter what color it is. I like yellow and red because I can see it nice and easy. Your position can be anywhere you want. You can disable it if you want. I don't recommend disabling it. Right file FPS, I like to have the right file FPS to know what frames per second I'm recording at, but that's just my personal opinion. Now, let's go to folder. For the recordings, I selected the best hard drive I have. I have a lot of hard drives, and this is my SSD, but that's how many hard drives I have to record to. This is the fastest one. This is 2 terabytes. So I record to that thing, and I made a folder for it to record. If you want to test the speed for your hard drive, you select the hard drive, click benchmark, and click run. Once it's done, click OK. But I've already done it, so I don't need to do it. So once you've selected the hard drive, you create a hotkey that you would want to start and stop movie capture with. Mine's F9 because it doesn't interfere with anything. This for the single screenshot, it's F11. That doesn't interfere with anything as well. And yeah. Next, let's go to the movie settings. Make sure it's that box is checked. Excuse me. And you want to select the Lagarith lossless codec. Now, once you've selected that, click the show configuration and select it to whatever you want over here. I have a decent computer, so when I record it, I always set it to this. For some reason, it always goes back to this. I'm not sure. But if your computer is alright, like kind of alright, this is perfect. This will do like very good, oh, not very, but as close as much quality to this, which is the true color, and it will have performance as well. It won't drown your computer in processes while you're recording and playing a game or something like that. Now, if you have a dual core processor and above, which you should do if you're playing a game while recording, select the use multi-threading. This is very useful because it compresses while you record, and it's better on multi-cores. So click OK. Now for the frame rate, keep it at 30 because YouTube does not display anything higher than 30. Sometimes it goes to 32 frames per second, but 30 is what YouTube displays at, so there's no point doing 60 or 120. That's just a waste of space on your hard drive and a bigger file size to upload and stuff. So keep it at 30. Now, for output, make sure file output is checked. Direct show output is if you're displaying to something like Twitch or another live streaming account. So yeah. Now for file format, I would keep it at AVI to keep it one file, and it's really easy and simple. Don't have to fill it around afterwards. I know how to RAWCAP works, but yeah. If you want me to show you how to do the RAWCAP stuff, just tell me in the comments below. Make sure. Oh, actually, you don't really need to make sure, but this should be selected. If you want to, if you're playing games like World of Warcraft and you want to show your mouse, but I like to keep it checked. Now this is what you should have. Scaling, it's default by 100%. That is just not good. It will lag like really badly when you play it back after the recording, unless you have like a hard drives in RAID or like SSDs and RAIDs. You should be recording at 720p. It's high definition as well, so nothing to worry about there. So the width should be 1 to 80 and the height should be 720. Alright, now to the audio. Excuse me. The audio, by default, it will be like this. Pretty sure. Now, it would be here by default. All you need to do is click the this many hertz, because it maintains that same quality as this and makes a slightly lower file size. Make sure PCM is selected. It usually is by default, I'm pretty sure. Now if you want to record your microphone as well, you click this adding button thing. Now click the number and select the microphone you want to record at. You can play around with the volume settings later. For the screenshot, you don't have to set this up, but I already did because I like it. And it should be PNG, I'm pretty sure, as default. I kept it as that. Quality, I want to be 100% quality, because, well, why not? It takes like a split second once you press the button to save that screenshot really quickly. So you might as well have it like full quality. Now for advanced, you don't really need any of these selected. You can select them if you want, but I do not recommend it. Now for processing threads, select as many cores as you have on your CPU to process with. I have 4. I have an i5 3570K overclocked to 4.3 gigahertz. I may even overclock it higher later on once I get a better cooler, but I keep it at 4 for better performance. If you have a single core, keep it at 1 core. If you have a dual core, keep it at 1 core. If you have a 3 core or 4 core, you can do 2 or 3 or 4, but dual core, like something like 1 gigahertz, 1.8, 2 gigahertz, really it should be 1 core, but you can make it 2 if you want to experiment with it. For limit video frames per second, if you click this, it will limit the frame rate at which you're playing at once you press the record button to whatever frame rate you set it at. So I keep that unchecked because I like to record with high frames per second in my games like Crysis 3 and Battlefield 3. And yeah, you should be using Dxtory if you want to do some performance and quality recording, because programs like Fraps, I've had programs like Fraps, and you don't have as many options as this, and it records at 1080 or whatever your resolution is for your monitor, straight like that. And some older versions, it used to cap your frame rate while you're recording. You couldn't have the option to not cap it. So I really don't recommend that program. It requires you to have a even the best computer gets, like, for example, you're playing Battlefield 3 Ultra settings at 120 frames per second, and you press record or Fraps, and you're all of a sudden going 70 frames per second. It downs your performance for frames per second really badly, just so low. Here, like for me, when I'm playing Battlefield 3 at Ultra for like 60 frames per second, it does 58 to 60, so almost no frames per second drop. So yeah, thank you very much guys for watching. Hope you learned something from this. Subscribe if you want more videos, and if you generally like my content. I release things like Battlefield 3, Feed the Beast, maybe some overclocking guides, I don't know, but yeah, see another tutorials and gameplay later on. Thank you very much for watching, and don't forget to like.